Today's show is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with the advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. Podgo, that's where the pods go.
Hello and welcome to the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Hello, it's Russ, and alongside me is not Kyle and Michelle, but just Michelle this week. How's things, Michelle?
It's great.
So I just need to clear myself legally at the start of this program. Mm-hmm. I'm being told that Kyle is ill and is at home, and that's why he can't make it to the show. I need to make clear a couple of things in case this... Please stop winking at me. I need to make clear a couple of things in case this particular soundbite gets used as testimony or ends up on a true crime podcast. Mm-hmm. I've currently been communicated with by Michelle. I have not communicated with Kyle on his own device or through his own social media accounts. I'm only going by what I'm being told. We have a group chat on Facebook where only Michelle has posted and said that Kyle is not ill. I should have stole
his phone and then responded from him. That's where I fucked up.
Wait, am I aiding and abetting now?
Yes.
Damn it. So, our main topic this week is going to be another in our series of album reviews, and this week was my pick, which is going to be Around the World in a Day by Prince. So you have that to look forward to in the second half of the show, and it's more or less going to be me versus Michelle on this one. I'm hoping that you like the record, and we'll find out. Don't say anything just yet. I do not know which way the wind is going to blow you on things. So
it's going to be a doozy.
I do have what I feel are going to be your stinkers on the record, so I want to take a swing at that when we get there. But anyways, as far as news on the show goes, like we always do every Thursday, we put up a new vinyl video on our YouTube channel, and this week I did a video on comparing a bunch of different pressings of the classic Run DMC Raising Hell album, because I have an original pressing, then I have a terrible repress from a couple of years ago, and then there's a company that does audiophile represses called Mobile Fidelity, and they recently did a very sought after double LP reissue.
I don't know what that means.
Audiophile?
Yep.
You wouldn't.
Moving on.
I'm not gonna Google the actual definition of it, but it's basically like a person that very heavily and intently listens to every last detail.
Okay,
of music.
I thought that you were saying audio file repressing,
no.
like they press it from audio files, and I was like, how else would they press the music? Not like audio file, like one word.
It's meant for audio files. Okay.
I got it. Sweet. I'm with you now.
Well, we're off and running.
Speaking of which, I got an audiophile magazine in the mail the other day, so somebody went ahead and signed me up for that. Was it you?
Okay, let's back up. So I just said the word audiophile, and you didn't know what it was. But you got a magazine.
You said I got an audio file.
I said I got an audiophile pressing.
No. There was a pause. There was a distinct pause.
Okay. Well, the good news is this is going to be out on all of the regular podcast platforms on Monday for you to just hear for yourself that didn't happen.
You're going to fix it.
So this pressing is very, very, very sought after. And a lot of times people will instantly say like, okay, but should I overpay for that or not? So I did a video about comparing an original pressing to that and this other repress, which was very lackluster. And the company that makes it, Mobile Fidelity, I mean, they've been around for 50 years at least, and they're very, very, very respected in the audiophile community. I made sure to couple those words together as much as I could for you.
I appreciate it.
And they never share they share reviews, like Audio Advisor or, like highly respected magazines and stuff in the industry. And they don't really share YouTube channels, and they shared our video right there on their Facebook page.
Right there in front of God and everyone?
Yeah, which I thought was awesome.
That's awesome.
So that's been cool. So very, very cool little victory for me. And then coming next week, I actually shot a video with my son, Zach. That's going to be on next week, which was cool.
Does he pull records?
Yes. Yeah, he had him pull records. I didn't have to ask him to say 5 nice things because he just naturally said 5 nice things about albums.
And how many bad things?
None at all.
What?
Yeah, believe it or not, there's a whole section of people who aren't constantly looking for ways to insult me.
I don't believe you.
I know.
I don't believe you.
I know. But anyways, that'll be a fun one too next week. So I had him talk a little bit about like the newer music that he listens to and like older artists and what he genuinely prefers. Because I said this in the video, like a lot of people, once you reach a certain age, you automatically go like, oh, these kids today and their music, you know. But like every young person that I know that's like 20 or younger, they all listen to like Led Zeppelin and Queen and Floyd and stuff.
How many young 20-somethings do you know?
Okay, again, legally, we're not going to go anything like that. I'm talking about when you're out in public and you see, you know, kids with T-shirts on and stuff. You don't see anybody wearing newer artist shirts. You see people like, you know, kids wearing Led Zeppelin and Floyd shirts or whatever. That is true. And then I had him pick 5 records and talk about like what he likes the most, you know, about all the records.
Does he buy records?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's all in the video. No, he's got his whole turntable set up and everything else. Yeah, he's a big deal.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a big deal. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. So the good news is one of the most fun things that we've been doing on the show, or fun for me at least, has been the feedback section that we've been doing. And we have a bunch of feedback to share. But before we get to the feedback, Manscaped has a very important question. Got bush? You definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor today, Manscaped. After using these life-changing products, you're going to want to join a ballsack beauty contest. We're looking out for you too because we have an exclusive 20% off discount. Use the code IGP20 at manscaped.com. Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full body grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. The Perfect Package 3.0 comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. This trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. Inside the Perfect Package, you'll find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, making sure your balls are smelling majestic before your Tinder date. You'll also find the Crop Reviver Ball Toner, a spray-on testy toner that's designed to make your balls smell simply irresistible. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you use the code IGP20 at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for your bush trimming experience. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code IGP20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com if you use the code IGP20. It's 2021 and you still got bush? Change that with Manscaped. So, in the interest of full disclosure, the last time we ran that ad, I was telling you that I should have put in the Simply Irresistible sound. Yeah. I did edit that in post. I put it in there by the time that episode came out. So, great. All right, let's get into it.
Feedback, John. Don't worry about that. Right. Rock and roll be without feedback.
So, we didn't cover this at the top of the show. Michelle, do you remember what we talked about last week?
I do.
Because it's going to be important for the feedback.
Robots!
Yeah, we did. Robots. Basically, artificial intelligence creating. And we stressed throughout the episode, but I knew people were going to have a lot of opinions on this.
And
so we got a lot of opinions on it.
Boy.
And we got a bunch of feedback either through Twitter or Facebook. I think we got a couple of texts as well, but we also got a couple of cool voicemails to share.
Sweet.
So new listener Steph, which by the way, welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy what you hear. When Kyle comes back, you'll have 2 people that are fun to listen to. And then Michelle will continue to be here. Steph says this was a great episode. She thought of a good way to use the technology. Remember how we kept saying, please?
I'm listening.
And she did.
Okay.
So she says, I thought of a good way to use the technology. What about artists that suffer from vocal hemorrhage, bruises, nodules, cysts, and polyps that lead to premature retirement? Like she gave the example of Julie Andrews. This could further their career.
Not nodes.
They sit on your windpipe and they crush your dreams. But the one, she gave the example of Julie Andrews, and I was thinking of Adele. Adele's whole career was derailed by like 5 years because she went so hard touring for 21 that she was living with nodes. And I could see, like, with the artist alive, I could see them sitting there being like, that's exactly how I would sing that. Plus, that brings up the whole thing of auto-tune. You know, like somebody's going to the studio and they're already getting help as it is. So, but I will say though, like, huzzah and kudos. Like we said, like, can anybody think of a way this could be used positively? And somebody came up with a way.
I'm not against it, but I don't know if I'm for it. I'm walking the line. I'll let you guys know.
Okay. So record labels, you're on notice. We had the I Had to Say It podcast, who's always a big supporter of us, very, very much echoing our thoughts. This is going to turn into a horrible cash grab by an industry that's already based on exploiting artists, broadening their reach into artistic necrophilia, where even dead artists can be used for the industry's satisfaction and fulfillment.
Yep.
And I mean, I would argue that's already happening to a wild extent anyways, you know,
Yeah,
with
just gonna make it worse. Yeah.
box sets and everything. And now, here we go.
Yeah.
So then we had another listener on Twitter, goes by the handle Arcade Man, and he pointed out something that we talked about as well. Said, I'd have a problem if they used AI to fake dead artists singing a song. Look what happened to Michael Jackson estate. They're still in court fighting over an album 10 years after its release because of using an impersonator on 3 tracks. And we talked about that on the show. It's like Sony tried real hard to get away with that, and that was before the technology of the AI is even in play. You know, so we had the Core Extra podcast reach out to us and said that their take on this fake music industry issue is it reduces the artist's work to a pure money-driven sensory experience and erases any emotionally insignificant attachment that the artist has to that work, which is exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's I'm so connected to the artist that it's not just someone's voice that I'm listening to. I'm listening to everything. The full experience, everything that happened to even make them write the song or even how they sing it. So I couldn't agree more.
Because you don't even like so much when artists re-record their masters, because you can like hear the differences because you're like so married
to Taylor Swift ones. I'm very surprised. I can't tell the difference.
Really, I can't. But I am not really.
That's because you don't like music all that much. Or at least that's what we've heard from our listeners.
I'm not well versed in her original catalog.
Right.
I've heard it before, but I didn't hear it, you know?
Right.
So
we had another really good point from a listener who goes by the name Big Red Spartan on Instagram. Said, this is no different from corporate tools using ghostwriters for artists, which is pure garbage, which I was hoping that this is where I'm going to miss Kyle on this, but that is rampant in the rap industry, ghostwriting, where like it's more or less common knowledge that like Dre didn't even write all the lyrics on the Chronic or like any of the lyrics on the Chronic, you know?
It is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's why if Kyle was here right now, I promise he'd be shaking his head up and down. and we get that, you know, like that is already a thing.
Right.
So it's like, here's the further version of it. Like, not only do we think this is what Michael Jackson would write, here's how we think he would sing it. So,
but do you think it's worse because it's a robot instead of a ghostwriter?
I mean, no. I don't think it's. Yeah, I think you're equally as bad. Yeah, like I say, to me, it's what the artist went through to write that song is what matters to me, not someone who is writing it for someone who's going to claim that they wrote it. So it doesn't matter to me if it's a robot singing it or not. You know what I'm saying? Nick Fowler wrote actually a couple of things to us because we had a little back and forth here. He said, this is definitely weird. I'm okay with what Over the Bridge did, but I fear that they might have opened a Pandora's box, which is what we're scared of. You know, he said, with AI music, we lose the emotional connection that comes through the music, and I look at it as nothing more than a bad tribute band. I might check it out with new music as a novelty, but I could never financially support it. Also, I didn't comment on anything Pink Floyd related, so hopefully Russ doesn't feel personally attacked this week. I don't feel personally attacked.
There's always next week.
Right. And so I replied to Nick on the Facebook page and I said that's the thing, is where what Over the Bridge did is one thing, but because of the history of the music industry, we're all expecting this to go south. Yeah. You know, and so Nick replied to that and said, I think if it wasn't the music industry, which has a horrible reputation over the last 60 years exploiting musicians for rather unethical behavior, I might have a slightly different opinion. Like you guys mentioned in the episode, Hollywood has done this sort of thing previously, and I haven't had much of an issue with it, but Hollywood doesn't quite have the track record that the music industry does. And I totally agree with that. So Hollywood, not the best place on earth, but still. Okay, and then James Porter out of California had some feedback for us. He said, this is a first for me. This was the first time I paused the show to listen to the music you guys were talking about. I'm fascinated by the 27 Club, so I listened to all 4 tracks from the lost tapes of the 27 Club. It was interesting, but I think there's better ways to shine light on the mental issues of these artists. As far as the music goes, I think these 4 tracks are similar to the artists that they portray and could be confused as a lost track, but when you listen to them back to back, the 4 tracks feel more similar to each other than the artist they represent. And that's one of those things I didn't think of until he said it. Yeah. And then I was like, Oh yeah, I totally get that. The sound is there, but the poetry, the original artist is totally lost for me. Lyrically, they're all just a bit off. This is the margarine of art, and I can't believe it's not butter. It's butter. Like, so, and I totally get what he's saying there too. I don't think it'll be long before this technology is good enough to make tracks and records that are totally passable, but a human will need to write the poetry. But why? Are we as a society at the point where we celebrate our past so much that we're unable to create new artists that moves us in a real way? Which is a great question. If the songwriters are there that have the talent to create the poetry that stands up to these artists, find singers and bands that need good lyrics and let the dead rest. How about that? How about develop a new artist? You know?
Exactly.
So all good points. Like, this is all exactly what I thought we were going to get. And it wasn't just a bunch of people going, yep, you're right. You know, like,
which I like to hear too. No, you're right.
I like to hear it as well. And then, like I say, I always push that we have a voicemail that you can, voicemail line rather, you can leave us a message at, and I love it when we get them. We have a couple of good ones. If you want to get on this, you can leave us a message at 313-364-9899. I'm going to share a couple of messages that we got this week, and these are a couple of real good ones.
Tonight, gonna have oh my God, I missed the beep. Well, this is Mike from the Link podcast, and I listened to your last episode on AI and music, and I wanted to call in because I had some thoughts that you guys mostly nailed it. I'm with you for the most part, but I think there's one thing you didn't really touch on, and it's hard for fanatics like us. Well, two of you, I mean, not one. But, yeah.
It's interesting that Mike is a new listener, and he already knows that two of the three of us are music fans.
I know, Kyle. Jeez.
How dare you speak of Kyle that way when he's not here? I want it noted for the record that I defended Kyle when he wasn't here.
I'll let him know. What's the minutes on that?
Yeah. I'll let you know when it's finished editing. So here, we'll continue on with what Mike had to say.
I think there's something to be said for if AI creates a song and it's this scary, bad place that we're going to, and you guys are very hesitant about it, which I understand, what if the song is just good, right? I mean, like, if I turn on the radio and Freddie Mercury is belting out a great brand new song, like you just heard me do, basically, and we've never heard it before and it's awesome, and I go into the shower later and want to turn it on, I mean, who is that really hurting? There's a possibility that there's some good content coming here, and we're ignoring it because there is a scary side to this, but there also could be a good side. Now, I think if that does happen, they need to fix the way the royalties are going to work. I don't want them releasing it under Queen's name or anything, or even Freddie Mercury's name, or whoever it might be. They need to figure out that side of it. I don't want to go onto Spotify and look for Queen albums, and then all of a sudden this new stuff comes out. It's not the same thing. It could be a different artist, and the money could go to an estate, or it could go to a charity. They could do nonprofit. They could do a lot of different things. But I think what you guys didn't necessarily touch on is, like, what if it just produces something really good? And I think that's worth exploring because the tech itself isn't bad. AI isn't a bad thing. It's just idiot humans who use it for bad stuff. And hopefully we can just ignore most of that. And if some people do stand out, then I want to be able to hear it. So I don't know exactly how I feel, but I thought that, you know, I wanted to see what you guys thought of that. Keep rocking. If you guys didn't listen to the previous episode, then what are you doing? Pause this. Go listen to the other one. We listen to every episode here. Infectious Groove. It's one of the best podcasts out there. Keep rocking. Thanks.
So that's very nice.
Yeah.
I will give you a chance to respond, Michelle, because you were shaking your head no at points, and there was a head throwback at one point. Your thoughts?
I was trying to figure out an analogy that would be like saying, I bought a knockoff Coach purse, but who is it really hurting? Like, right. Coach is doing well and they're surviving, but like now I look like I'm fancy, and it makes me feel good. It brings me joy. Mm-hmm. So like, what difference does it make? Right. And I just like it. And I just feel like you're missing that part where like it's an integrity thing. Right.
So, well, yeah, absolutely. And then again, and I realized that, and I think that we're in the minority on this. Like, I very much care about, like I said, the connection to the artist. And I totally get that, like, everybody isn't going to be that way. You know, like, I know people who love The Wall as much as I do and know nothing about, like, how Roger Waters got there. You know what I mean? And and that's totally fine. But for me, you know, just a computer writing, like, I want to hear Freddie sing again as much as everybody else, but I want to hear Freddie sing again.
I just feel like with everything that's going on, like all these new artists that are like trying really hard to make their way in the world. Why would we spend all this time and energy redoing
like
this
James
stuff?
said, why go back?
And I'm not saying that there probably aren't going to be a few bangers, but like,
so you're on record as saying we may have a banger or two.
We may have a banger or two, but is it worth it?
Right. Yeah. See, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I get what he's saying, and I totally get. And you're probably right. I think probably 90% of the people that we deal with in our regular lives have no idea. And you could ask them about any song ever, and they'd just be like, "I don't know who sings that." Like, I just know the words. Then that's about it.
This is a random example, but like "Drops of Jupiter" by Train.
Yeah,
I'm sure 90% of the people that listen to that song don't have any idea that that's about Pat Monahan's mom passing away and like how much that means to him, and that's totally fine. Like if they, if something, they all of a sudden put out a new song that was AI or whatever else, like those same 90% of people are just gonna be like, "Oh, that's a great melody" or whatever. You know what I mean?
And those same 90% of people though are the ones who are going to be supporting it and like buying it and making this an industry thing.
Yeah. And for me, this is a very vote with your wallet situation.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like if they tomorrow put out a full AI record full of, Floyd or somebody that I love, or like, let's say they somehow come up with a new Pink Floyd record with like, quote unquote, Rick Wright on keys, because this computer thinks this is how Rick Wright would play the keys on this album. Like I'm absolutely not buying that. But
would you listen to it?
No.
Okay.
I would probably click on the first single and then for however many minutes it is, constantly say out loud, "That's not Rick," and
then just get increasingly mad about it.
And tell you about it several times. Yeah. Yep. All right. We got one more voicemail for us here.
Hey, it's Garrett from the Ever Trending Story podcast. Been listening for quite a long time and love your guys' show. The whole algorithm song thing is crazy. Like I listened to that Eminem one after you guys mentioned it, and wow, it's insane how just like Eminem that was. I don't like it. I'm with Russ. I don't really see any benefit to this. However, the only thing I can think of that would really work would be to kind of genre blend. So like, let's say you take Eminem and have him try to do a country song. I don't know if the algorithm can do that, but how fun would that be just for fun? So that's all I can think of. Keep up the great work. Love y'all.
So again, and Garrett always supporting the show, and he has been a long-time listener. He's awesome. And my thing with that is the same thing. Like even if there was a company that was going to sit down and be like, we're going to raise awareness for, I don't know, the like Farm Aid used to do for the farmers in America, like raise money to help them. And they were like, so we're going to have, like Garrett said, Eminem do a country song, and it's just for funsies or whatever. Like if that's a hit, like a bona fide hit, then we are down a really bad path. You know what I mean? Like, but again, though, I applaud, like, that's the second person that was like, I think I have an idea, which we asked for. Like, do you have an idea of how this could be used positively? So again,
those are ideas.
We didn't say they had to be good.
I'm just kidding. It's not something we thought of here, so it's definitely a head scratcher.
Well, no, if nothing else, it's a neat idea. But again, I think that, and just like Nick said, with the thing, like I applaud what you're doing, but I think you oopsied. Like I think you caused people in the industry to be like, "Oh, we can get away with that."
Yeah, I think we've gone too far.
Yeah, and and again, going back to the first feedback we had, like Steph said, like I would have never thought of that. Like Adele's career was derailed for 5 years. Linda Ronstadt can't sing any longer. Like she used the example of Julie Andrews. Like, and those artists are still with us, but because of physical conditions, they can't do it. So there's room there for sure, for positivity, and Michelle is willing to admit that could be a banger.
There could be a banger or two.
We could be dabbling in banger territory.
I don't want to dabble in bangers.
No. Well, you did once, and look where we're at now. The child's due in June.
8 weeks.
Yep. All right, moving right along. Our jammies. For me, I have a couple of jammy jams this week. First of all, I did get to listen to the entire new Parker Millsap record. Finally. And I like it a lot.
And damn, it's great.
Yeah, nope. Actually, I ran that by a committee last night of a room full of people, and they all disagreed with you. And I even told them that you said the song was life-changing, and we were ruining it, and the question came up out of 3 people's mouths at the same time, life-changing?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, so for anybody who's not familiar with Parker Millsap's work, his first 2 records to me, and this is not even going to be accurate either, but they're singer-songwriter-ish to me.
Yeah.
And I like him a great deal. Mm-hmm. And then his 3rd record, To give you an idea of how much he shifted from singer-songwriter, I always told people his third record is the Jack White album I wanted when Jack White's third album came out. Yeah. So it's very like rockin' and whatnot. And this one
He's an electric guitar on the cover, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh, I was in Dearborn Music yesterday and talked a person into blind buying his third album.
Good.
And then the guy posted later on a vinyl page on YouTube and tagged me in it with it playing on his turntable. And he was like, I blind bought this today because Russ told me to. And holy crap, what a great album. I was like,
You're just selling shit left
I'm
and right.
over here doing the Lord's work.
That is the Lord's work.
It is. But I had in my hand the fourth Parker Millsap record. So I brought it home yesterday and I got to listen to it front to back twice. And there's a terrible song right in the middle and side. It's called Damn It. No, I'm just kidding. And I don't dislike that song at all.
You guys make me sad.
My opinion was just colored by Kyle was right on with what I thought of it too. Like it keeps building, but it doesn't ever get anywhere.
Yes, it does. Are you even listening?
It gets where it's going in like the first 30 seconds, and then the next 4 minutes is like that again. So
it's like you don't even get it.
yeah. Is it because I don't get it?
It's because you don't get it.
So, but the record is way closer.
Were you listening?
Yeah. White people hear Jimmy, but they don't hear Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's way closer to his first two records to me overall.
Yes.
And the second half of it is even got a lot of orchestrations and keyboards and whatnot. But I like it. I'm a huge, I want my artists to grow.
Yes.
And I think that even, like, my fear when I first heard it was, I was like, oh, this is a bit of a regression. Like, this is like other arrangements didn't sell. So let's go back to the first two.
Yeah.
But the second half of the album shows a lot of growth.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite Parker Millsap album.
Well, I mean, you've only been listening to it for a short period of time too, though.
But I feel like when I listened to other arrangements, it was like, yup. Like,
as soon as every song on his third album, other arrangements, like every song as soon as it starts, you're like, yes, Lord, yeah.
I have been listening to more Kings of Leon because I paid money for that record, and I've been trying really hard to get it to grow on me.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? It's my jammy jams right now. We'll talk about your jammy jams.
But I was relating it back to Parker Millsap. Is that like we have been listening to that more and more, trying to get to grow on me, and it's not. Parker Millsap has been the more that I listen to it.
I truly am. I'm looking over at the record bins right now. I really don't think that Kings of Leon record's ever coming out of the record bin, like until we move or something. I just don't.
You just leave it for the new homeowner.
Yeah. Here's a housewarming gift. They come downstairs. Oh, they left us a record. Oh no, it's the Kings of shitty Kings of Leon record. But anyways, the Parker Millsap, his fourth record is called Be Here Instead. And I haven't dug into the lyrics very deeply, but the music, I really like what I heard. I think that a new Parker Millsap fan could come into this and then be pleasantly surprised when they go backwards.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And the other thing that I've been listening to a great deal is, I mentioned this on the show a couple weeks ago, Van Halen 3 is the one Van Halen studio album that's never been pressed on vinyl officially, because Van Halen's more or less ashamed of it. They did, after Sammy Hagar left the band, they hired Gary Cherone from Extreme. Very, very crash course, put out a record and went on tour. And pretty much in hindsight, everybody involved in the record is like, we should have toured first and got more familiar with each other and then wrote, And when the record came out, I loved the first single as a song called Without You. It's everything that I wanted it to be. And then I remember when the record came out, it was getting terrible reviews and everything. But I wasn't just like, oh, the Rolling Stones said it was bad, so I'm not going to listen to it.
Right.
I listened to it myself. And I just remember not being really moved by anything. So anyways, recently a bootleg counterfeit company, whatever you want to call them, pressed it on vinyl. So I was like, okay, I got to have that just to cap off my Van Halen discography on vinyl. So I listened to the whole thing again this week. And first of all, it's not nearly as bad as the reputation that it gets. And for Van Halen fans, so I'm speaking to everyone but Michelle right now, Sammy Hagar put out 4 albums with Van Halen, and the black sheep of the group is the second one that they did with him, called OU812.
Okay.
No one ever calls it a bad album, but if you ask someone to name their top 10 Van Halen records, they will never name OU812
How
in the
many
top 10.
Van Halen records are there?
I want to say 11 studio records. I think they did 6 with Dave, 4 with Sammy, and 1 with Gary Cherone, so 11.
Okay.
But if you ask someone to name their top 10 Van Halen records, like, I would assume OU812 will either not get mentioned or it'll be like 10. And it's not a bad record, and no one says they hate it, but it's never in popular contests. And it had When It's Love was on there, Finish What You Started. Like, it's got huge hits. But the Van Halen 3 is like along those lines. Like, it's a darker sound than I think a lot of people were used to for Van Halen. And I think that plus a second change in a lead singer, like it was a miracle that Van Halen pulled that off with one lead singer change. So I just think all the way across the board, it was a perfect storm of, okay, we're not going for this. And Motley Crue had just very famously had their failure with switching lead singers. No matter how good that record was, it wasn't going to get popular.
Right.
So I think just the time, everything happened at the wrong time for it. But listening to it from a reflective standpoint, it's not the greatest Van Halen record, but it's way better than it gets credit for. So I've been listening to that quite a bit this week.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's good for me. Like I don't think there's anything on it that like you're just not a Van Halen fan. Like you don't hate them, but you don't love them.
They're just there.
And there's nothing on there that you would be like, oh, this is like, I wish the rest of their stuff was this good, you know? But I think any Van Halen fan that went back to listen to it now would be pleasantly surprised by how much there is to like on it. And Gary Cherone, I adore. I love Gary Cherone. So I try and set that aside, though.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like, oh, well, this must be amazing because Gary Cherone's on it. You know what I mean? So anyways, those have been my Jammy Jams. Michelle, I know when we sat down, you were like, I tell you what, I can't wait to get to Jammy Jams this week. I've got just a low, she almost wanted to do a whole show of just her Jammy Jams because she had, plus Kyle's not even here. Again, for the record, I'm being told Kyle is ill and at home. There's been no indication that Kyle's life was ended by Michelle.
I'm going to stop and get a newspaper on the way home and make him hold them up.
Whatever you need to do, I'm not.
Whatever makes you feel better.
Yep. So what are your Jammy Jams?
So this week I've been kind of stuck in the world of music. I mean, I listen to Prince quite a lot, and then when that album ends, it just goes into other Prince, which I'm just like, okay, it's just been a lot of Prince. But I've been into a lot of Florence and the Machine has been ending up on a lot of my playlists, and I don't know. That was one of the things that I didn't seek out. So Spotify wasn't like, you should listen more of this. It just keeps ending up there. And then I go on a rabbit hole. And, so I've been listening to a lot of, Florence and the Machine, like, her cover of Addicted to Love is just so good, man.
It's great.
And then,
you turned me onto that years ago. And that's one of those things that like, and this is giving you as much credit as you deserve. I mean that in a very good way. If anybody else I know was like, did you hear Florence and the Machine's cover of Addicted to Love? I would have been like, oh yeah, I'll listen to that. And then never listen to it. But as soon as you told me, I was like, I bet it's really good. If Michelle said it's really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
And then just, I love her voice. And when we saw her in concert, she just
fantastic.
She killed it. Yeah. And I every time I hear her, I think about that, and I'm wondering what she's doing. I don't think she's put out anything recently, or
I think the latest record's like a year and a half old or so.
2018 is the last thing she has on Spotify.
Oh wow, okay, so closer to 3 years.
Yeah,
but I'm sure COVID put a kink in whatever.
For sure, and I would love to see her live again. She was
great. Absolutely fantastic.
She killed it. And then Bishop Briggs, who I am regretting to this day that we didn't go see. She was playing right downtown, and this was probably 4 months before COVID hit, I feel like.
Yep.
And we were just like hemming and hawing, and I was like, but it's like a Wednesday and I have to work tomorrow, and tickets are like $15 whole. And like,
oh boy.
And
that's roughly $14 more than you think tickets should cost.
And I actually saw her open for someone.
The Lone Bellow, I guess?
No. I recently found a ticket stub. And
Although
I
had a Facebook memory the other day of when you took me to a Newfound Glory concert.
It was not Newfound Glory, but Newfound Glory is also great.
Okay.
You said, I think it wasn't your post, like I never thought I'd be posting that at a Newfound Glory concert. I want to say that she opened for someone like Cleo or something. We saw him and we were there.
Oh, I think you're right.
I think we were there. Like it came up my time up of like the ticket stub, and it was like Bishop Briggs like opening for Cleo, and we were like probably outside smoking or something, and just missed it. And like that's twice now, and I don't know.
So that's on you, is what you're saying?
It is on me.
A roundabout way of saying you've been listening to her stuff.
Yes, and then she had a single come out recently. It's called Someone Else with Jacob Banks, who I'm not familiar with, but the song is very Bishop Briggs-ish if you are familiar with her music, and anything in her catalog is great. I have not found a bad song, so if you like her voice and her style, you can put on anything and just rock out.
Right on.
So
cool. All right. Well, and then tomorrow you get to pick your own songs for the playlist, which will be great. You know what you should do tomorrow is be like play 30 seconds of each song off of every album. Then,
he would probably just not even care.
Oh wait, so you're indicating that he is alive?
I mean, I left the house and he was alive.
I can't say if the meds kicked in since I left. All right. We are going to take a quick break. When we get back, man, I'm hoping this goes well. We're going to go through an album review, which is an album that I love very dearly, and I just never know how that's going to go. We're coming back with a review of Prince and the Revolution Around the World in a Day. You're listening to the Infectious Groove podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Welcome everybody to the Body Skew podcast. I am...
Whoa, dude. No. This is our promo, not the show. I'm Rico.
Oh, sorry. I'm CJ, and we're the hosts of the Body Skew podcast.
We're fans of pretty much anything and everything pop culture, including movies, TV shows, books, video games, comics, music, and of course, Kevin Smith. Now, while we do keep our fingers on the pulse of Silent Bob, he certainly doesn't need our help in promoting him.
You got that right. We do our own thing, with inspiration from the man himself and his mantra of why not. We've got stories about celebrities, we've interviewed theories of our own for certain movies, and we can usually tend to have a great debate about anything.
We also do commentaries on movies. Sometimes we ask our fans what they want to watch with us. So if you love the timbre of our vocal cords and want to watch a movie at the same time, give us a listen.
Stay tuned every Monday, there's always something new. And if you've been good this year, we may even give you a bonus episode from time to time.
So please be good and subscribe to and enjoy Pod Skew, founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hi there, I'm Kyle Sutton.
I'm Trisha Campbell.
And we're the hosts of My Drunk Movie Theater. Join us every week as we go through the silly things that we wind up getting up to at our jobs working at a local multiplex. We also talk about all the current events that are happening in the movie world that affect us and affect you as the viewers. Trisha?
We also get off topic quite a bit and we'll ramble, so there's that too.
Yeah, well, alcohol does that to you. So hit the subscribe button. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, almost anywhere that your podcasts are available.
I'm Midnight Agent Raw. And I'm Okami. We are the Super Media Bros podcast. And each week, we give a comedic take on all forms of entertainment, such as movies, music, video games, television, and much more. So put your shades on and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Shades on. We're on.
We are back. You're listening to a special Kylus episode of the Infectious Groove podcast. We've had this happen a couple of times before, but I feel like you and I are good enough now to where like it more sounds like there was a few times that Kyle wasn't able to make it that you and I were kind of like, what do we do now?
We just both stared at his microphone waiting for his answer.
Yeah, we just stared at his chair. What are we going to say? But without Kyle here, we will press ahead to the important business of the continuing series of our album review. So here we go.
The Infectious Groove podcast.
Album review.
Oh, I'm sure I'll say something dumb.
That's my,
God damn it.
That's my favorite drop in the history of the drops that we've made. This week, we are taking a look at the Prince and the Revolution album, Around the World in a Day, which was released on April 25th, 1985. And
before I was born.
The interesting...
I didn't say anything about you.
The interesting thing about this record is that Purple Rain came out June 25th, 1984.
So less than a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy puts out Purple Rain, does the tour for Purple Rain, the motion picture for Purple Rain, cleans up at all the award shows and all that, and then inside of a year puts out an entirely different record.
What number album is this?
Like
middle end?
7 or 8.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he had 39 studio records.
So far, that we know of.
Yeah. So, that have been commercially released while he was alive. 39.
So like the first third of his...
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's such a shift in tone from everything that he'd been doing before.
I've noticed.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is not going to this is going to go so poorly for me. So we have a certain format that we follow with these reviews. And the first thing we do, because we try and keep the show positive, is we always talk about what we think are the best tracks on the record. So I'm going to go to you first on this because I want to take a stab at some of your stinkers. Because although this is a stinkerless record for me, I'm certain that you have stinkers. What were some of the best tracks for you on this album?
So, of course... Raspberry Beret is just...
it's a jam and a half.
I can't... I was hoping to find more.
Oh, no. This is bad news.
Well, no. Okay. The second best song on the album is Pop Life.
That's the bass line of Pop Life. Holy shit.
And you've played that for me a ton of times. Yeah. And so when it came on, I was very familiar with it. And I don't know if that's why. It was just like... I like the song, but it was like something very reminiscent. And then Paisley Park.
Yeah. Holy cow. What a great song.
Yeah.
Paisley Park is one of those songs. Like, I never went to Paisley Park while Prince was alive, like, because we didn't have it wasn't open to the public or anything.
Right.
There wasn't any reason to go. We went very soon after he passed, and I just had that song stuck in my head the whole time. To give you an idea of how soon after he passed we went, the security gates all around it were still all filled with like the cards and letters and flowers and stuff that were there, and it was amazing to see that all.
I bet it's still like that.
No, they took it all down.
You don't think they get more?
I mean, they get more, but it's not. I mean, this was like, people were making pilgrimages there to like, I mean, the whole gate around the whole property, the fence around the whole property was just filled from top to bottom with stuff. And they just took it all down for a bunch of different reasons, traffic reasons and plus the stuff's getting rained on and whatever, you know what I mean? And all that. So it was all taken down. But I had that song stuck in my head the whole time. I mean, it's like this guy, here's a guy that writes a song about his house, home studio that goes on about how amazing this place is, but the song is so universal as well because it just talks about like finding happiness within yourself. But he's like taking that universal message of finding happiness within yourself and being like, yeah, that's what goes on here all the time.
I can say that Kyle, when he was listening to it, he was like, "Did dude just write a song about his house?"
Yep.
I was like, he sure did.
Yep. And when I went and saw after Prince passed, I went and saw. I've gone to see The Revolution twice in concert since he passed, and I wanted so badly for them to do that, and they didn't do it the first time. They opened with Computer Blue though the first time, and fantastic song from June of 1984's Purple Rain. But the second time that I saw them, not only did they open with America from this album, but they did Paisley Park, and I was I was so happy.
Yeah.
They did Sometimes It Snows in April both times from a follow-up album to this, which is my all-time favorite Prince song. So it was awesome to hear him do that.
But not your all-time favorite Prince album?
Parade? No, yes. Parade is not my all-time favorite Prince album, but...
is this your all-time favorite Prince album?
No, because there's something wrong with you. All right, so...
You didn't even say anything yet.
I truly like every song on this record for one reason or another.
I'm sorry, what?
Every song on this record I like for one reason or another. Like every song has something that I can take from it that I like. The best tracks for me, though, if I had to narrow it down, instead of me just going, the best tracks are all of them. For me, the best tracks are Pop Life, Paisley Park. I think the title track that it kicks off with is awesome. America, I think, is killer. And The Ladder is just a great blues song that's like, to me, it's up there with the song Purple Rain as far as like the bluesy feel of the song.
Really?
Yes. I just, man, do I love that song. And then Raspberry Beret. I want to talk about Raspberry Beret for a second because, and I have to make reference to Parade again. Okay. So Prince has a thing for me where
he has a thing for you.
Oh yeah. They kept it under the rug while he was with us, but I can speak about it now.
Okay.
Where for me, many, many times the single off of Prince records is not even close to as good as the rest of the record. And I use Parade as an example because Kiss is a great song, but every other song on Parade absolutely destroys Kiss, in my opinion. Mountains, Another Lover Like a Hole in the Head, Sometimes It Snows in April, the Christopher Tracy's Parade, like the whole record is just 100 times better than Kiss, in my opinion. With Around the World in a Day, this one is unique because I think Raspberry Beret is perfect. It's a perfect song, and it's a great representation of the rest of the record. Where like Kiss does not sound like Kiss is like, if you listen to Parade front to back, Kiss is like jarring when it happens.
You don't think that about Raspberry Beret on this record?
No, not especially coming out of Condition of the Heart. The way that ballad is like very stormy and
that's a good word.
Heart-wrenching, and then it just fades out, and all of a sudden the record kicks back in and gets back into that psychedelic vibe that's dropped.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't fit. I just think that it's not jarring, I guess. Maybe it's because I have listened to Raspberry Beret so many times that like when it kicks in, I was just like, oh yeah, like this is now we're talking here. And then like, so I don't say it doesn't fit. I don't necessarily agree or disagree.
I think this record is sequenced perfectly. Every song, even if there's songs that you don't like, they lead one from one to the other perfectly. And sequencing is a huge thing for me. Like really big thing for me. And I think this record is perfectly sequenced. Like if you put Raspberry Beret anywhere else on this record, I think it's out of place. And right where it is, it fits perfectly. So We move on to, for anyone who's new to the show, Michelle has her phrase, stinkers. She likes albums with hashtag no stinkers, but we find that those are very few and far between. She doesn't have a lot of albums with hashtag no stinkers. Yeah. And judging from her entire demeanor when she got here, through the first half of the episode, through my introduction, talking about how much I love this record, and all of the faces she was making the whole time, I feel like she has a laundry list of stinkers. Whereas my best songs on this album, I was going to say all of them. I feel like she's going to say her stinkers were all of everything but Raspberry Beret. But for me, I'm going to take a guess at this and say that your stinkers on the record are Condition of the Heart, Tambourine, and Temptation.
Yep.
And then also the rest of it as well.
The only one you missed is America. I just put no.
How?
I don't know, man.
Do you hold on? Is your rhythm broken?
Maybe.
That song, how, based on beat alone, how can you not love that song?
I don't know. And I know that I've heard it before because I'm pretty sure I've heard most of this stuff before from you. But okay, can I just tell you what my experience was listening to this record, or would you like me to wait till the end?
We're going to have an open discussion about the record. So.
Okay. So you were absolutely true about Condition of the Heart.
So I'm going to ask you to keep it stinker-centric right now.
Okay.
I knew you were going to hear it. I listened to the record front to back again last night, and out loud to myself in my house, I said, Michelle's going to say this is a stinker.
I put, what the fuck is this?
It's a ballad.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's music?
Yes. Yes. With some of the shit you listen to, you're gonna say that's music to Condition of the Heart by Prince. Now, hold on. I will say this. As a kid, when I had Around the World in a Day on CD, I would always skip Condition of the Heart. But the first time that I saw Prince was on the One Night Alone tour in like 98. 98, 99, and he did a piano medley in the middle of the show, just him and the piano, and he did an instrumental version of Condition of the Heart going into Cream or something like that. Anyways, and that was the first time that I was like, God damn it, that's a great melody. So now when I go back to listen to the record, I'm like, I never gave that song a fair chance.
I wonder if I'd heard it live, or even if I hear, what's his name? Jason.
Oh, Jason Tenor, from the Las Vegas tribute band.
If he sang it...
They're never going to do that song, but if they're going to do any song off of this record, it's going to be Raspberry Beret or Pop Life.
If he sings it looking how he does, like, maybe.
A whole foot taller than Prince.
And that was absolutely my least favorite song on the entire record.
Okay.
And I listened to the record 4 times.
Okay.
Not in a row, over 4 days.
Of the 4 times, how many times were you paying attention?
All of them.
Oh boy. Okay, because you have a track record of having not paid attention.
Okay, I paid attention as much as I can pay attention.
Fair enough. What else do you got for stinkers?
Really, Tambourine? Really?
I love that song.
Really?
Here's my 2 favorite parts in Tambourine. First of all, I think it's such an unorthodox, for creativity alone, that song is worth the price of admission.
Sure. Yes, I can agree with you on that.
Just out of nowhere, Prince is like, watch this. I'm going to just write a song about...
talking about
he's talking about quality alone time, which as soon as it starts, oh my God, here you are, prettiest thing in life I've ever seen, like talking about a girl in a magazine. So like we know where this is going. But my 2 favorite songs in the song is about halfway through when he starts losing his goddamn mind and he just starts screaming.
What is that?
And then half a verse later, he starts screaming higher than he just was the first time he starts screaming. I love it. Again, just the
So we can just start screaming on records now, and that's creative.
The artistic freedom of expression of that just moves me. Like never in a million years, if somebody was like, I really want to hear Prince, I wouldn't be like, oh, you got to hear Tambourine, But like, the fact that his mind cranks out Raspberry Beret and Tambourine is amazing to me.
How many songs does he have about pleasuring himself?
Oh God, that's a lot. They're
well,
I mean, what's funny is you'd have to subgenre it then, because then there's like ones that could be about someone else pleasuring themselves, or could be about him, or could be about sex, or by yourself. Like there's a lot of sex going on in
what?
Yeah.
What?
For me, Tambourine gets points all on the creative aspect of it alone. Just, I would never even sit around and sing that. Like the melody's not even that catchy. It's just it's mind blowing to me creatively.
Yeah. I can also hear the song in my head still.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
and that's the sign of a good pop song.
And Temptation.
I knew you.
First of all, why is it 11 billion years long?
It's no LP holds a song that's 11 billion years long. So. Now, as much as I listen to Prince, there are people who are way bigger Prince authorities than I am. And
don't go admitting that.
Right. There's a song that he would do during the Purple Rain era on the tour called God. Mm-hmm. And it's extremely similar to the 4-minute outro to Temptation. Mm-hmm. So given that it's called Temptation and it's so close to that song, I feel like it's kind of a continuation tie-in to Purple Rain, but I've never really looked into that. So I will say this, I don't know that I would have ended the record with it.
You said it was tracked perfectly.
Except the fact that outro was so long on that song.
Why?
Why what? And also...
Why is it so long?
I don't know. I know that you, for whatever reason, you have a 4-minute mind when it comes to music.
I can't even watch movies, man. I'm very.
I remember for years, we would go out on double dates, and both you and I would be like, "No, that movie's 92 minutes long. That is exactly 2 minutes too long."
Not up in here.
I remember, it being like, "Hey, well, he wants to go see this, and she wants to go see this," and you and I would text each other and be like, "That movie is 2 hours and 12 minutes long. I'm not sitting through that."
There's not enough beer in the world.
But I'm the type of person, though, as you know, I have favorite Pink Floyd songs that are 23 minutes long. You know what I mean? And I love every minute of those songs. But as soon as I heard Temptation again, when I revisited the record, I was like, Michelle's going to hate the length of this song. But Purple Rain goes on forever, the title track from that record.
That is true. It was to the point where every time I was like,
oh boy, I got to hear this whole song again. Yeah.
No, I would get to the end of it and I would be like, and I'm listening, and I would go to click on it to see how much, and I was like, seriously? There's 4 minutes left? How much more of this
I can't believe I didn't get a harsh text this week about it.
I was saving it for the show.
Okay.
But it was every single time, and then I was like, no.
Yeah. I knew for sure that was going to, and I don't even know, your reaction to Condition of the Heart is offensive. That's a great ballad. And I knew you weren't going to like it, but I didn't think you were going to flat out hate it. You flat out look like you just hate that song.
That was the number one stinker on this record.
Really? Mm-hmm. Even over Temptation?
Even over Temptation.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe it's because when Temptation's over, it's over. The whole experience ends.
Yeah. You're like, it's the finish line. I'm finally done.
It wasn't that bad.
So as far as open discussion goes, one thing I want to talk about with this record that I think is very important to discuss with how this record was released and when it was released is, you have to remember this young man pretty much took over the world. I mean, he was on a steady incline leading up to Purple Rain. And I don't care who you are. You can be the coolest, music critic on everything. Oh, Purple Rain's not my favorite. Bullshit. Purple Rain is a masterpiece from start to finish. I don't care. Is a wonderful song. And, Computer Blue is so terrible. The Revolution opened their concerts with it.
That was a mistake.
Right. And so he puts out this masterpiece by anyone's standards. And then there's a motion picture to go with it. And then there's the tour and all that. And as soon as Around the World in a Day came out, the immediate feeling across the music industry, the press, the fans, everybody was, this is not Purple Rain Part 2. And my reaction to that is good.
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting. I was not expecting Purple Rain Part 2. And I honestly went in it with zero expectations because I think Purple Rain is the only Prince album that I've listened to front to back religiously.
Right, due to this show.
Well, yeah, it started here, but I still listen to it. I'll put it on. And so I was just walking in blind, knowing that all I knew originally was Raspberry Beret, but then, like I said, when Pop Life came on, and Pace and Park, I think I heard before.
I only touched on it very quickly, so now that we're into the open discussion, we can get into it more. The bass line on Pop Life,
so good.
The bass line alone is worth listening to that whole song.
Oh, for sure.
And I love the lyrics of this record are so good across the songs. Even like Condition of the Heart, if you don't
even Tambourine.
Yes, they're fantastic lyrics. And again, it's for me in Tambourine, it's the delivery.
Is it the innuendo?
When he loses, it's innuendo. When he loses his mind, screaming it at the end, it's more about that struggle where he's like, I probably shouldn't be doing this, or like I love that he expressed himself that way. But the lyrics in Pop Life are literally just like, not everything's going to go your way. There's so many cool lines in there. Like for a guy who just got put through the ringer by the PMRC, he's got lines like, show me a boy who stays in school and I'll show you a boy where, you know what I mean? Like go get an education first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're so concerned with the one word in Darling Nikki, but we're not going to point out the fact that this guy's like also saying stuff like this. And that little, like, what are you putting in your nose? Is that where all your money goes? Or what's underneath your hair? Is there anybody living there? Like, like asking deep questions in a pop song called Pop Life.
Was that ever a single like on the radio?
Yeah. It was officially a single. Yeah. And the last time we saw him, he did it. And it was cool. The last time we got to see him in concert, he did, the encore started with just him at like a sequencer, like a sampler. Mm-hmm. And he had, like, I would assume, shit tons of Prince music in there, and he wasn't playing an instrument or anything. He would hit key on it and it would play like the sample of a song, and if the crowd went nuts, he would wave the band in and they would start playing that song and they would do the whole song. And he dropped like The Most Beautiful Girl in the World and a bunch of different things, and some things people went nuts for and other things people didn't. But as soon as he hit that button, boom, boom, the place went nuts. The funniest part, my friend Julius and I always talk about this, friend of the show, Julius. His band started playing on Pop Life, and he literally went over and tapped on the bass player's shoulder and took the bass from her and started playing the bass. Like was like,
that's the most Prince thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just let me handle
give me,
this.
I got it.
Yeah, and just turn around. What's the matter with your life? It was fantastic. But I think if there's one criminally underrated song on this record, for me, it'd be a two-way tie between Pop Life and Paisley Park.
I like both of those songs.
I think Paisley Park is such a beautiful song.
It is.
It's so uplifting and so happy. And like Kyle said, like I the first time I played it for my wife, I was like, this dude wrote a song about his house.
Kyle came home and he was like, because he was listening to it on his way home, and he was like, dude wrote a song about his house.
Yes, not only a song about his house, but like, here's how awesome my house is, and like, but also, and the thing is, like, I'm going real deep on this, but this is how I take it, is like, well, yeah, that must be easy for you. You've got this big place in Minneapolis and you've got the recording studio and all that stuff. I'm sure it's easy for you to say, well, that's Paisley Park is in your heart.
Yeah.
Like you can make your existence this happy. Like I went out and found what makes me happy.
I just happen to be ridiculously talented.
Right. Well, unless he's doing stuff like Condition of the Heart.
Tambourine.
No, come on now. Yeah, is that going to forever taint tambourine for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will, from now on, you're going to say
I'm going to abstain from tambourine.
you don't tambour. But so for me, though, when this record came out, it was like the whole industry was like, oh, how dare you not make Purple Rain 2? And it's like, why would you make Purple Rain 2?
I would say it's a rough follow-up to Purple Rain. And I'm not saying it because it's not Purple Rain 2. And I guess because I don't know a lot of the backstory, like I don't know what led up to this, like chronologically. It was not what I was expecting.
Well, okay, so in the immediate backlog, so you have 1999 and then Purple Rain and then this. So, I mean, it's a total gear shift.
For sure. Yeah. And I could see why people would be shocked by it, but I don't think that is necessarily wrong. Like, I support artists going in different directions.
For sure. Well, my thing was, Around the World in a Day was the first album that I was like, I heard some of 1999. I heard Little Red Corvette in 1999 and Dance Music, Sex, Romance, like the stuff that was played on the radio before Purple Rain came out. And then Purple Rain, in many ways, is 1999, but better.
Yeah.
Okay. And so for me, I was like, I don't want to say he was one trick pony, but in my world, I was like, oh, that's what this guy does. Okay. And then when Around the World in a Day came out, I was like, there's so much more to this dude. And for me, I was overjoyed. I would like, even stuff like when I was a kid, I didn't get what Temptation was about. I didn't understand. I sure as shit didn't understand what tambourine was about. I was like, man, that guy really likes playing tambourine.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Still applicable. And so for me, it was like, holy crap, there's so much more to this dude.
So, but nothing before Purple Rain in 1999 sounded even remotely like this, right?
No, and what's interesting is if you get the Super Deluxe box set of 1999, Raspberry Beret was written for 1999.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's almost, I mean, it's a little faster, but it's, you know, the rough demo is on there, and it's the same melody and all, you know, all that, and the same. Which, by the way, the melody in Rise. Can we talk about the melody of the violins?
Yeah.
The I mean, it's just. Are you kidding me? That's like if the only song Prince ever wrote was Raspberry Beret, that's like a legendary melody.
Would you say that would be one of the songs if someone was like, I've never heard Prince before, what is a Prince? You would open with that song?
I don't know that I'd open with it. I probably, my gut instinct would always be Let's Go Crazy.
That's a good one.
But I mean, it would be in the, let me say this. If I made someone a Prince mix CD, if they said, you know, I've never heard Prince, throw some Prince at me that I'm going to like. Now, I wouldn't just go, oh, well, I'm going to put all the hit singles.
Right.
You know, but Raspberry Beret would absolutely be in there for sure.
I feel like that's one of those songs where it doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in. If it comes on, you can't help but get down.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
There's a live Prince album called One Night Alone where they're coming out of some other song and they kind of drop to the beat and you can just hear the keyboard players kind of doing a version of the main melody, the thing. Prince says, how many people have never seen me before, you know, in the place? And he's like, oh, so there's a lot of first timers in here. He's like, okay, we're going to do this next song. And, I dare your ass to sit down. And then they, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they go into it and you're just like, you know, how, cause you
can't.
Yeah, you physically can't. So, you know, I think Raspberry Beret is definitely, you personally hear me say this all the time. That never should have been the single, or that should have never been the first single of it. And yes, if in April of '85, you brought this record to me and you were like, what's supposed to be the single? I would have been like, track 4.
Do you think it's gotten overplayed?
No.
Okay.
No. And especially what's weird is when Prince passed away, the same thing happened as with Michael Jackson, where all of a sudden people went from 0 to 100, where people that like had been making fun of Prince for the past 15 years all of a sudden became his biggest fans.
Yep.
And there's so much out there that you don't ever hear one thing get overplayed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it got overplayed, but also I am way, way, way late to the party. So like I just heard it on whatever CSX or whatever.
This record was released before you were, and you're just now listening to it in its entirety.
But there's some oldies and old rock and roll that is just like, you know, the radio stations just beat to death. And I don't think that with Raspberry Beret, but I just didn't know, you know, if it had been before my time, they were like, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing it or anything. So
yeah. And I'm certain you didn't get around to it, but have you ever happened to see the video for Raspberry Beret?
No.
It's like, have you seen you've seen the cover art to Around the World in a Day? Okay, so the video looks like a motion version of the cover art. Like it's like very cartoony. The video almost looks like it's happening on the set of the cover art. And it's very like cartoony and stuff. There's like birds flying around Prince's head.
Is there a Raspberry Beret?
There is on the cover of the 12-inch single for the album, and on the back cover of Around the World in a Day, there's a woman holding an apple that has a Raspberry Beret on.
An apple that has a beret on.
The temperature must be low in the room though, because if it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. I can tell that you very much enjoyed that dad joke reference. But and so if you look close, if you fold out the gatefold for Around the World in a Day, there's a reference to every single song on the record is happening in that room. And in the video, what's funny about the video is the Revolution looks like bored to tears. Like they literally are just like, we are so along for this ride, we don't even know what's happening. You know, it's very, very, very funny video. But what was weird about this record is that it got such a cold reception. But Raspberry Beret couldn't be denied by radio. Like radio was just like, this song is a banger. We got to play this song.
It is a banger.
But then as far as the rest of the record goes, like everybody was just so, like everyone I remember talking to about it as a kid was like, well, it doesn't sound like Purple Rain. Okay, but you know, there's more. For me, I was like, holy crap, this guy can do so much more. And everybody I know was like, yeah, but I want him to do just more of the same.
Yeah.
But that's not your criticism of the record.
No.
Though. Like the songs you don't like, you just don't like those songs. It's not like, oh, I wish this was Purple Rain again.
No, I don't wish it was Purple Rain again. And there's like other songs before and after Purple Rain that I enjoy as well that are different. It's just, this is...
As a matter of fact, I just played last night at about 1 a.m. for a group full of unsuspecting people who had never heard it. I played the first track off of the Gold Experience.
Yeah.
Which you know what that is, right? Mm-mm. You don't know what the name of the first song is on the Gold Experience? Mm-mm. For censorship purposes, I'll say P Control.
Oh.
So literally people in the room kept being like, what? And I was like, yeah, this was released as a single. So
they were not aware?
Yeah, no. The people that were in the room had never heard the song. And they were.
So it's you that has made me know that song.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you owe that to me. Yes.
I was listening to that in my office one day because I just had put on Prince randomly, and someone walked in and was like, "What in the fuck are you listening to? And I was like, this is a good Prince song. And they were like, I've never heard this Prince song ever. And I was like, no, just me.
Well,
cool.
you skip several tracks ahead to The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, and they're like, well, I know this,
Yeah.
Which you can't even stream that song anyways. Which,
Why?
It's a whole legal thing. That song is wrapped up in legal fees or legal issues. And if you that's why I have the Gold Experience on vinyl. That's one of the reasons it's so rare. They can't reissue that album because of that one song.
Jesus.
And that album is on streaming, the Gold Experience.
Yeah.
And the interlude that leads up to it, like there's like because the whole album sounds like has almost like an elevator voice in between songs, and there's a track that's on streaming that's like, you're about to access the beautiful experience, and then the song doesn't happen. Like it just goes on to the next song.
Just kidding.
Right, exactly. So very quickly, we have the last two questions that we always ask. Now, this one's kind of a tricky question. We always ask, would you buy this album? But based, like, if you walked into the record store in 85, you had just heard Raspberry Beret on the radio, I would assume based on the strength of that song, you would buy the record, right?
Would I be in a record store in 1985?
Had you been born?
I'm just kidding. No, I wasn't saying because of that. I was making a joke about me going to the record store.
Yeah. If someone drove you to the record store. Let's put it this way. Okay, here, seriously. So if we're out today and we're driving around and I'm going to drive you to the record store, and on the way there you hear for the first time in your life Raspberry Beret on the radio, and I go, oh, this is this guy.
I would buy it based on, I absolutely buy it on Raspberry Beret.
Having heard the whole record,
I would like my money back.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And that's, I mean, you just made a lot of people mad, and we're going to get a lot of feedback. But that's what you do on this show. Okay, so, oh, Lord. Okay, well, I think I know where we're going with this next one. Well, obviously, for me, first things first, I bought it when I was a kid. Yep. I've only grown to love the album more over time. I own 2 copies of it on vinyl. So, yes, I'm all about the record. Would have bought it then, or did buy it then. Would rebuy it now. What's your scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Where do you rate this record? I swear to God, if it's a 5. I swear to God, if this is a 5, I'm quitting this show in the middle of this show.
Well, it was going to be a 5.
Now it's a 4.
Now look what you did.
Yeah. Why? Why a 5? Why a 5? There's just not enough there outside of...
There's not enough there for me.
Oh, boy.
So let me tell you my experience.
Okay.
So I put the record on, and I was like, I'm just gonna listen to it once through and not make any notes. I'm just gonna.
Which, by the way, we skipped over this. The title track did nothing for you. The first song on the record, Around the World in a Day.
I put an average opening track, a little too spacey for me.
Oh boy! Well, then we know that the rest of the record. If like you had texted me that, man, like the opening track's a little too spacey for me, I would have been like, we need to switch albums for next week.
So there's how my experience started. Like, I didn't hate it when I first put it on, and then the rest of them happened. And then,
and it wasn't getting any better.
Like I said, Paisley Park and Raspberry Beret and Pop Life happened.
The fact that you don't like America is, that's another one where I should have been like, maybe this isn't the record for her.
So I listened to it. I just put it on, and I was like, just gonna put it on and listen to it all the way through. Every track that went by that wasn't Raspberry or the 3 that I mentioned, I was like, is Russ fucking with me?
Oh, that hurts my heart.
Okay.
That hurts my heart.
So then I was like, there has to be something here that I'm missing. So then I gave it a day. I sat back down and I listened to it again. And I was like, okay, I think it's not for me, but I can understand how people can accept this. And then with every listen, I found more things that I liked about the record.
Hooray.
But the first listen, if I had driven to the record store and bought this record and listened to it that one time, I would be like, there's something, like, remember when you gave me Daisy? And I was like, this is not brand new.
Yeah,
please return this.
I do remember that.
I would have almost done that.
Yeah.
But that being said, since I was trying really hard to make notes for the show and to be knowledgeable instead of just being like, this is garbage, pick another one. So I listened to it 4 times and I made notes, and I still don't like those few tracks, but I can understand.
So it made its way from a 1 to a 5.
It really did.
Okay. And I get that. Like, I know you and I do a lot of banter and all that stuff. But like, I respect the hell out of your opinion on music, and you know that. And I like that it did that. And I will say this though, like, in 4 listens in a week to jump from a 1 to a 5 is pretty damn good. I would imagine that if in the future, if we're just sitting down here playing records and I put it on, I bet I would find you humming along to songs that you had previously thought that you didn't like.
Yeah, it depends how many drinks I have, but I would probably timbre.
I think you would timbre. I do. I think you would timbre. I'm going to say this, and you're not going to believe me, but I promise this is true. This is a 10 out of 10 record for me, and I will tell you this. It's absolutely a 10 out of 10 record. And the reason why I will tell you that, even though I said I have problems.
What did you give Purple Rain?
I probably a 10 out of 10. For me, out of 30, I don't even think I've heard all 39 studio records that Prince has done, but of the Prince records that I know, there's very few that I would rate under an 8. And let me tell you why. Because for me, for Prince, creativity and artistic freedom comes into my rating a huge amount. And this guy does not care. Gave zero Fs. Zero. And first of all, there's not another artist alive at the time who would have even put Tambourine on a record, let alone started screaming halfway through it. Like
I don't know, Ramble Tamble, man.
And yeah. Wait, maybe you can Ramble Tamble with the tambourine.
Maybe we have to ask Kyle.
Yeah, we should do a mashup.
I will make sure to ask Kyle when I get home.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
But that alone is just like mind blowing to me. That you're just like,
I can respect that.
Yeah, and so for me, that comes into it. And then, and again, being me, like when I was a kid, I would skip Condition of the Heart when I had it on CD. And then when I was forced to listen to it, because Prince was playing just the melody, every time that I listened to the record from there out, I was like, oh, I was wrong. What a great melody and song.
That's happened to me so many times. So many artists hearing them live has given me a deeper respect for songs that I once skipped.
Right. And it's like, I barely knew the melody. Because I always skipped the song when I was a kid, but when I was like, oh, that's the Condition of the Heart melody, and like, then I went back and listened to it, and hearing him play it on piano by himself made me listen and pick up more of the piano work that's in the original track that I wasn't paying attention to before. Yeah. So for me, it's a 10 out of 10, and I will say that at least 2 points come from the artistic integrity and expression of freedom.
Yes, and no stinkers.
No, there's no stinkers on this record for me. The closest thing to a stinker for me is Temptation, but
only the last 4 minutes.
Have to go into my history as a Pink Floyd fan and loving the theatric side of things. The second to the last song on The Wall is a opera piece where Roger Waters does the voice of like 5 characters. And I love it. So for this, like the theatrics of it, I'm like, cool. Like it resonates with me.
Yeah.
So, well, God help us. We got through it. I mean, I didn't think you were going to think it was the greatest record ever made, but I didn't think you were going to think it was as bad as you did. Or not even bad. Oh, I'm wildly disappointed. Yes, and I'm going to cry about this later. Yes, later on. Well, here, let me give you a glimpse into my future. Later on tonight, my wife and I are going to drive across town, and when we drive across town, I'm going to play Around the World in a Day, and then I'm going to give her a running commentary on why you're wrong on each one of those tracks.
And she's going to have headphones in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then she'll be listening to another podcast on her headphones the whole time.
She'll be listening to Murder.
Most likely, she'll be waiting to nod and just be, oh, that's a crying shame. Oh, I can't believe she said that.
That's your friend.
That's her favorite phrase in the English language. I don't know. That's your friend. So that is our discussion on the Round of the World in a Day. And I almost want it next week. I just want to, at the top of the episode, be like, hey, Kyle, what'd you think? And have him be like, it's good.
One word answer.
Yeah. We should
at least get his rating.
What'd you think, Kyle? Nah.
Nah, brah.
Yeah. But anyways, those are our thoughts. Now, next week, we're going to have kind of an odd episode for us, but I think it'll be fun.
It's going to be fun for me.
We're going to have just kind of an open discussion about a very music-related thing, which is the movie Empire Records, which is one of your favorite movies.
It is.
And is a movie that exists to me.
It exists in the world.
It's one of those movies that everybody I know is always like, oh, that must be one of your favorite movies. And I'm always like, I've seen it. And so but I'm going to watch it again. And I'm going to, this sounds like I'm going to say this so smart ass, but I don't mean it smart ass. I'm going to give it the exact same amount of attention you gave Around the World in a Day.
Perfect. That's all I ask.
That sounds like I'm going to give it the exact but I do mean that sincerely. So I'm going to try it again. And, I mean,
it's no Super Troopers, which is a great movie. It's
terrible.
Like pretty great.
That movie's terrible.
It's like probably my top 10.
Okay. Like we always say about this time, and we are certainly speaking for Kyle when we say it this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Groove Podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Whipple, and Michelle Castelletti. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.
And like I told you before, I know,